Hey everybody, we are hanging out here in Eugene, Oregon. I just left the auto parts store. It's been 8,000 miles since I changed my oil. I've been to Indiana and back. I've been to Vegas and back. And it's time to do that oil. Maybe 8,000, maybe about 7,000. I'd have to look. But anyway, I'm getting ready to go on another big old trip. So it's time to get the oil changed. It is mid-October here in Oregon, and it's time to get out of town again for some nice weather. We'll be in Las Vegas for a little while, spending about a week there. But back to the point of this oil change video is how much has it changed to even change your own oil? So we're not going to include any of the prices of the tools, so on and so forth. We're going to say that the coach uses 5 gallons of oil because on average that's about it, maybe a little more on the big 600 horses and so on and so forth. But on my coach, right about 5 gallons. So we've got 5 gallons of oil before discounts at $30 a gallon. So there's 150. And then we got the oil filter. And that is going to be the 1748. Stop here at this light, and then we'll be able to look at this paper a little safer. And we're coming in at that at $61 retail, so $210 just to change the oil before any parts, tools, miscellaneous products, so on and so forth. So there's kind of a sum it up. I'm going to take you now. We're going to go back to the house, change the oil, and we'll kind of go through some of the things on this oil change, some of the things to look for while you're doing it. And then, of course, that doesn't include the grease. And that's one thing is sometimes you get a lube oil and filter, you would think, at some semi-truck shop or somewhere, and they don't cut. Whoa! It fell off the dash and turned the wipers on. All right, so here we go. Got you back up on the dash safely. Wipers back off. Back to the point being here is that I found coaches is that when you have somebody else do your oil change, you can end up having cases where they don't even grease your chassis. Or in another guy's case a couple weeks ago, he's like, yeah, I got an oil change and they changed my fuel filters. Well, 90% of these coaches have 2 fuel filters. Arma, just relax. We'll roll the window down in a minute. Back to the point. 2 fuel filters. They only changed 1. Usually you got 1 up on the engine and then the first one or 2 of them mounted in the back. So let's get this video started, show you the oil change, talk about a couple things on the coach. But here's the intro. I hope everybody takes that time to subscribe and like the video. I know it's not a walkthrough of a bus, but it's the importance and the gist of how much it costs just to change your oil and without the grease. With my discounts, about 210 bucks. So let's get her rolling here. So we drained all the oil, came in, pulled that 17 millimeter, and actually come back in, check the torque on it real quick. Now last time, it looked like I got a little carried away because I had to use my foot to break it loose. That wasn't the bolt breaking. That was the ratchet slipping off. All right, there's the ratchet back on her. All right, she's good and tight again. New oil filter up in there. Now I do tighten that with a wrench because I'm always scared that it's gonna fall off. So I give it about a half a turn with the wrench, maybe 3/4, get that good and tight. Pre-fill the oil filter with oil. The thing holds damn near a gallon. And then that's done. So now we'll put the oil in the coach. So now we're back up to the top side and we'll get that part wrapped up. And then we'll do the closing notes on this bad boy. All right, we're back up here, top side. Got my ladder in here. I just didn't feel like taking it out. It is held in with a couple bolts, some 7/16 nuts, doubled up right there. And then the same over here on this side. Now there is a 7/16 wrench back here, but like I said, I just didn't feel like pulling it out. and I wanted to show you that I could still do this with it in there. So you'll see there's my oil check. Here's one of my gallons of oil, and this right here is my oil fill. So I'm gonna dump about 4 gallons of oil in this, check my levels, and then maybe top it off from there. But what I wanted to cover was, in the manual, it talks about turning it over till you have oil pressure. And I thought to myself, how can I tell people to be able to do that? Well, it's pretty easy. In my coach's case, you'll see an engine stop button right here hooked to a relay. If you unhook the back one here, which would be the 30 wire, the coach will just turn over and it won't start. On the back of a newer bus, there's a push button switch right up here across the top. It says engine kill. So kill that, turn the engine over for a while till you see oil pressure at the dash. Come back here, check your oil levels, see how they are. If they're good, then go ahead, turn that pull. You gotta pull down to lock in that style switch. In my case, just put the wire back on here. And then go ahead and start the coach. It's pretty much the ins and out. I think we had, what I say, 210 or something like that in oil and a filter. And then we've done this in about an hour. We're talking about another $20, I think, for a tube of grease right about now. And then that's gonna take me about another hour. So you got 2 hours to do a LOF and right under $250 in retail and parts. Now, if you have a Napa account, you come in at a better price point than that. And I pretty much use all Napa filters and everything on all my stuff, because if I remember correctly, somebody once told me they're all Baldwin filters or some manufacturer of a high quality. So there's my in and out on changing your oil. It's one thing that should be done. I personally try to do it about every 7,500 miles and before 10,000. Got a pretty good record of it all inside. So that's that. I did find I needed to change my belts. I think I'll do a different video on changing the belts and talking about the prices of the belts. And maybe at that time we'll do the fuel filters also and talk about the importance of changing fuel filters and the prices of those too. So watch for that video coming out soon. I'll get that together hopefully today, because like I said, we're leaving on a trip next week. So we need to get this stuff wrapped up. But everybody, thanks for watching, taking that time to subscribe. We'll get you some motorhome walkthroughs and we'll see you the glitz and glamour. But as you can see, sometimes you got to get a little greasy if you want to take care of your own stuff, or somebody's got to get greasy to take care of your stuff. So thanks again, everybody. Till next time. Bye-bye.